The Weekly Warp Pipe.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Weekly Warp Pipe. I'm Russ Lyman.
Welcome. I'm NES addict, and I was trying to say welcome. I'm sorry.
Fair enough. We did put a poll out on our YouTube community page. We were trying to narrow down a topic. So we asked, did you guys want to hear the top 10 must-play NES games? Or did you want to do the top 10, like one for each console, spanning across a whole bunch? And the poll did slightly win on the NES subject. So that's what we're breaking down today. But I think maybe in a future video, we can just come back and we'll do one per console, which certainly will make it very difficult. Doing 10 on NES, it gives you some leeway. Okay. But like one, all right, this has to be the game that defines the system. So that'll be fun.
Right.
But we're doing NES today. I tried not to pick all of the absolute staples that people would say. Tried to throw some curveballs in there. So me and Jay have our own top 10 list. We'll go through, discuss the games, why we thought they should be on your must play. We asked you guys as well, so we'll read your comments. And we do have a voicemail too. We'll get to later in the episode.
All right.
We'll see with that. So lot in store for today's episode. Yeah. If you guys do want to call us, I'll just shoot the number out quickly. 949-682-9277. That's 949-682-WARP. It's in the description of all our episodes if you want to catch it.
There you go. Russ, I kind of used a different, what's the word? Parameter.
Okay. What is your...
The kind of classics, like you got to play these games. What were you about to say?
I was say you had froze up, so I was like, what were the parameters? You said something classics you gotta play.
Sorry, I did on my end, it looked fine, so I didn't realize it froze. But basically what I was saying was I tried not to choose like the staples, like the stuff that I know people most likely played. You know what I mean? Like all the games you would typically think of, like you have to play this game. It would be like if you were showing an Alien and NES, like you're like, dude, you got to play Zelda, you got to play Mario 3. Like I tried not to choose those, but I tried to choose some other unique experiences that I thought on the NES that maybe people were less likely to have played. That's kind of the parameters I went by.
Okay, I dig it. Yeah, so a little bit
So
different.
hopefully we'll have some. Yeah, we'll have some different titles for sure. I think this time.
Sweet. All right, who wants to start it off?
Go for it, Russ.
All right. In no particular order, all right? I just listed these kind of willy-nilly.
I like it.
On my list, must play, I put Castlevania 3, Dracula's Curse.
Great choice.
If you had to choose one of them, I'm like, okay, one is pretty good, but I do feel 3 adds a whole lot more to that dynamic where it has like branching paths. You can play as 4 different characters or 3 different characters. I guess, well, if you count yourself. So it just adds a whole bunch more to that and a lot of replay value, and it keeps that same fun arcade mechanic that a lot of people dig.
Yep. Pretty hard, a lot longer, but definitely, I think they really hit their stride with this one.
Right. Graphics are fantastic. Music's really good. And again, if you enjoyed the first one, this just kind of amps up a lot on there. I could have picked it maybe, I guess, 2 to like throw everyone off. It's definitely a fun game, but I guess if we're going out of all the Castlevanias, go with this one here. I feel like it'd keep you busy for longer. With the first one is great, but I feel like once you master it, you can beat it straight through so easily. Whereas this one, you have a lot of replay value of like, oh, I want to take a different path. I want to get a different character and play as them.
This one's definitely a lot more challenging than the first one. I've beat this game maybe 3 times, but there's a few areas where, man, it really takes some distance.
Oh, for sure. Oh, I like this one's like a throwback to the first one here. We were in the castle. Look at that. Castlevania.
I love Sypha.
Oh, yeah. Maybe a little overpowered. Who knows?
maybe a little. Alright, ready for my next one? My first one,
Yeah.
I guess? Solomon's Key. It's like a
Oh,
puzzle,
okay.
very unique kind of experience. You're this little dude, Solomon. You got this little magic wand. It has a sister game or brother game, however you wanna gender it, called Fire and Ice. That's a bit more expensive, but I think similar style, and, I think you get a very similar experience for a lot cheaper with Solomon's Key. You're this little elf dude. He looks like, a Link wannabe, and you can, like, make blocks or break blocks, and, you have to get I think you have to get that bell, and then you can exit, and the little fairy helps you out too. But, really unique experience on the NES and, really hard. It gets pretty difficult pretty quick, but, still a lot of fun. It's a nice game to sit to like, pick up and play if you only have, like, 20, 30 minutes.
Okay.
I'm not gonna make it much further than that anyway.
Right. It's just kind of this mix of a platformer slash puzzle because
Yep,
depending on where you got to put these blocks, you have to either trap enemies or make a block so you could jump over them. So certainly it takes a lot of practice. Yeah, I haven't put either any or very little into playing this one, so I'll have to check it out.
it's fun.
It's a good one. Solomon's Key. Sweet. What else we got? This is probably on both our lists, but I put Batman on NES. You
Surprisingly,
left it
it
off?
is not on my
Jay's
list.
going rogue.
I'm going rogue here. I'm trying to be unpredictable.
Fair
There's
enough.
only one predictable game on my list, but I do love this game, so I'm glad you brought it on here.
Perfect. Fantastic soundtrack. This is by Sunsoft. Purple Batman. Very iconic. If you enjoyed the first Tim Burton movie, this kind of follows it a little bit with the story. Pretty difficult, but certainly beatable. Jay has beaten it in the past. I've beaten it,
That's
but
right.
save states. But I'm sure if
Hey,
I put enough time into it, I can accomplish
you
a
could do it.
clean beat.
See, here's the thing about Batman, it has endless continues.
Right.
So, just like angry video game nerd says, "Game is only over when you make it over."
That is true. But yeah, I mean, definitely play this one if you haven't. And like you said, there's unlimited continues, so you could just learn from your mistakes. And the soundtrack keeps you pumped up. And you
That's
just got to
right.
learn. You get some cool weapons that you can use instead of using your fists. So maybe you try to use some of these weapons to keep your distance from the enemy, so you can keep your life. I know a lot of people get hung up in the sewer area with the bouncing.
The Jaders.
Yeah,
The key to the Jaders, and you can do this for most of them, is don't trigger them on the screen. Stay far enough off screen um, where it doesn't trigger them, and then you can kinda get them. You can kill them.
right. What I usually was doing is I'd creep up and then use one of my projectile guns and slowly inch away at their health and until they're done.
That's pretty much what you do. You
Yeah,
got it.
sweet. Batman.
Alright, next for me, and this one actually might honestly be on your list, Star Tropics.
It was, yeah, I did put Star Tropics at the end.
I
Nice.
know we've talked about this game a lot, but I feel like Star Tropics just offers such a unique experience on the Nintendo. Um, it's kinda like, got some RPG elements, and how would you describe Star Tropics? It's like
It's similar to a Zelda meets,
yeah.
I guess, Final Fantasy or something like that. Because you have the
Yeah,
exploration of Zelda, but it does have that top-down perspective, almost like a Final Fantasy or even Zelda 2, where you're going to towns. You don't get that in Zelda 1, but you do
right.
have dungeons that you go into with Star Tropics, just like this here. You can kinda see the dungeon rooms. You get kinda some, fun weapons with it. A yo-yo. I don't know why so many NES characters needed a yo-yo to fight people, but
I don't know. But yeah, it's like, I just like the perspective once you're, like, in the dungeons, it's kinda, like, changes and, the it's got some puzzle aspects to it, which makes it really fun, so it's just a fun game.
Yeah, and again, you get these, like, cool sub weapons that you can throw, and then it again, you keep progressing. I like Rob the Robot makes an appearance in here. I thought that
There
was
he is.
awesome.
Yeah, that's
Um,
funny.
and you get your little ship so you could cruise around the island and go to different islands. Very cool, fun, unique. This is a playthrough here, 2 hours, 14 minutes, but I imagine if it's your first playthrough, you're gonna be way longer
Yeah,
than
a
that.
little it's gonna be longer than that, but I think it does have a password system, I think.
Yeah, there's no way you can just sit down and beat this in one go.
Right.
Star Tropics, though, definitely good. Could use a remake or at least a
Good.
remaster or something on the Switch. Don't know if I'll ever get that, but and there was a sequel as well, but it wasn't as well received. Still pretty good,
Zoda's
but
Revenge.
yeah, so does Revenge. All right, so that made my list. So I'll move on to my number 3 on here. I figured one of these had to make the list. It's like whatever your favorite one is. So maybe different on you, but I put Mega Man 2.
I almost put a Mega Man game on here, I didn't. Like I said, I really tried to stay away from those staples, Mario 3, Mega Man 2, Zelda, so
Gotcha.
but it definitely needs to be played at least once.
Right. And figure Mega Man 1 had a good concept, but Mega Man 2 really solidified how the rest of the games were going to be played. It's like, this is how many bosses you have. They got rid of the point system. They didn't need that. This has so many great soundtracks. This is fun. And I feel like it's probably the easiest because once you get the metal blade, it's super overpowered. So it can make the game a little bit easier going through. Because I haven't beaten everyone. There's 6 of them on NES, and they certainly get tough. I know a lot of people like the 3rd one. They do add the slide and I think the charge shot to 3, but
I
2
can't remember.
right, said it's been so long. But 2 is certainly classic. I remember playing this one a ton, seeing it in Nintendo Power, the dragon, fighting the dragon, you gotta use Quick Man's boomerangs on him to get him down. Really fun. Classic Mega Man. Definitely you gotta check out at least one of them. I chose 2.
Yeah, I think 2 is probably the most well liked.
Right.
Alright, next on my list, Monster Party.
Oh, okay.
Uh, I can't remember is it Mark, the main character?
Yeah, I believe it is Mark.
So
And
you take
Bert
hold
is
and
the
Bert
dragon.
is his weird monster. Yeah, so you take control of Mark and you go through there's only one level that really pisses me off, for lack of better words. You're in a maze, okay? So it's like the trifecta of horrible things. You're in the
Right.
maze, lightning flashes, which gets really old really quick. And then the other third thing is it has the worst song or whatever you wanna it's not even a song, it's just God and it just plays over and over.
It's like wind,
So you're
and
hearing, like,
then
this howling yeah, you're hearing this howling wind with this really obnoxious bell, the lightning so you feel like you're about to have a seizure, and you're lost the entire time, and
so
it's really hard to
that's the worst
luck
level,
your way
but
out of but the
the
rest of
other
it's
level's okay.
incredible,
Right.
but that level will make you want to smash your television screen.
I'm pretty sure I played through this and beat it on a live stream, and it takes a little bit of getting used to. Obviously, you wanna stay as Bert the dragon because you have projectile fires. It makes it a little bit easier, but I do like the mechanic that you go back and forth. So funny with him when he's crawling
Humping
on
the
the ground,
ground.
just like slithering along. But it's got very cool visuals, cool soundtrack. The bosses are very interesting. Again, when it was ported over here, they had to change a lot of stuff because of copyright issues where you were fighting one of the plants as a boss, and it was obviously Audrey 2 from Little Shop of Horrors, but they had to take that
Right.
reference out. And there's a few other ones. in there, but very neat. Yeah, Monster Party, very cool box art, stands out, so grabbed your attention. Certainly a
Yeah,
game you got to play at least once. I'd give it a weekend. You know, a lot of these games you got to use the rental rule, right? You rent an NES game on Friday, you got to play it for the weekend because that's the only one you got, and you give it
that's
back on
it.
Sunday. And then if you still hate it after Sunday, you're like, okay, I won't rent it again.
Right. But, I just think it's a unique experience that I don't know if a ton of people get to try out on the NES.
Right. I guess I'll just go to one of the staples that everyone's like, this would be on my list. But I said Jay's shining away from that, but I did put the first Legend of Zelda on the
I
list.
mean, if you never played it, you got to, right?
Right. Certainly a classic for sure. And so much you can do with this one here. They have people that speed run the game without ever getting the sword. They just use
That's
bombs.
crazy to me.
You can't officially beat the game because you need to hit Ganon with your sword to make him appear. So as they can get up to Ganon. But this was awesome. You play through it and you beat it, and then it can unlock a second quest where slightly things are changed, or you can put your name as Zelda, and that starts the second quest already. So it has tons of replay value. Fantastic music, lots to explore. I mean, certainly this is one of the very first NES games that I played and had a fantastic time exploring. And, this is very open world, different from Mario. And I'm like, got the bombs and I'm blowing up every single like rock I could
Bush.
find,
Yeah.
burning every bush. Like, what secrets can I find? Finally getting Nintendo Power and looking in there to get the secrets. Certainly awesome and a good time for sure. Legend of Zelda. Not much more you could say about it.
I wish I would have had a friend,
That played Legend of or that owned Legend of Zelda.
real idiot, play this game,
Right.
but
Well,
alas, Russ didn't live near me.
I did not.
Okay, my next game is, which is funny because I didn't realize this when you said what you said, but Batman:
Mhm.
Return of the Joker.
Oh, okay.
So I went with this one just because I feel like less people have played it. Um, I don't necessarily know that it's better than the first game, but visually, it's pretty stunning.
Yeah.
Uh, it gets a little bit hard at the end, but I think it's definitely
Yeah. Again, Sunsoft put this one
of
out.
a more unique experience on the NES.
Oh, for sure. And you get these cool like cut scenes, so reminiscences of the first one, but they changed his style of Batman. Like instead of purple, he's looks more blue with the
He's a
shadows,
lot bigger on this
and
game too,
then his sprite is a lot bigger.
and
Y-
he has like a weird jump.
Yeah, and then he's also using like a lot of these like weaponry projectile stuff. So you don't do a whole lot of punching. I want to say you're more reliant on these like shooting mechanics.
Right? Yeah, you have like a lot of different guns that you can choose from.
But I mean, you did in the
But
first
yeah,
one as well. But this
that's
is yeah,
true.
definitely neat.
But you can't punch at all.
Right, that I like that option in the first one where it's like, well, Batman doesn't really shoot people, right, in the
Right.
movies or whatever, he doesn't wanna kill anyone.
The the final boss is pretty tough too. Like you got to be pushing buttons like a madman.
Oh, this one here was in some
Yeah.
giant machine.
Yeah, like his health is like crazy higher than yours. So you got to like really get good at the dodging the projectiles. But yeah, I think it's a great game, very cool. Definitely worth playing once.
Worth playing, a must play because most people, like we said, probably played Batman before. I bet you a lot of people never played this one
Yeah.
because I don't remember playing this at all back in the day when it came out or
No, me
even
either.
seeing it, so I don't know if it came out later and we already moved on to Super Nintendo or what it was, but me being a big
I,
Batman fan,
I think I've beat this game twice. It's pretty challenging, but it's fun to pop in here and there.
nice. That's a good one. All right, what else do I got on my list? All right, switched it up with this. Maybe this wouldn't be on your list, but I feel like I had to add it on here because It's kind of a fun sports game, and it's got some good soundtrack on there. We're talking Mike Tyson's Punch-Out.
Definitely a classic, and I thought about putting it on the list when because I had made an initial list that was more of those classic games, and then I scratched it completely because I figured we'd be matching too much.
There you go. Yeah, I figured with this one, had to have a sports game on here, and it's almost sports game meets rhythm game, essentially getting that nice rhythm of when to punch and when to dodge, and I played this one a ton growing up. Never beat Tyson though, alright?
It
think I got
it
to him a few
works.
times.
It just works so well, right?
Yeah, and it's so much better than the arcade, I feel, because of them making Mac small, little Mac, so he doesn't take up as much space and you can still see the
Right,
boxer. Whereas in the arcade, they had to do this like wireframe thing so you could see through him to see the
right.
opponent.
Lame.
And
I
this
love it. I love him being so small.
right. You know, that underdog story.
That's
Rocky
right.
was obviously real big, so maybe it played into people like, oh, like I like Rocky, let me try out this boxing game or whatever. And every opponent has their own quirks and special when you gotta hit him. He's shaking his head here, so it's like, "Alright, I know to punch him to get him down." And it's cool that Mario comes out as the referee.
One thing I think is neat about this game too is I feel like with each character, you learn just a little something that's going to help you when you finally get to Tyson.
Right.
Especially the last 3 or 4 enemies, I think are the thing they teach you the most is you have to be reactive and not, um, what's the opposite? I guess not proactive, but, like, you can't anticipate, you just have to react. If you anticipate, Mike Tyson is going to destroy you, but if you react to the cues, you can beat him.
You gotta go into Ultra Instinct mode.
Well, you'll see Mike Tyson do a quick flash of blue. I don't know how many before he does his uppercut, and that's
Okay.
when you dodge, when you see that flash.
Well, I could see him kinda winking with his eyebrow when he's gonna throw some
Yeah, and he d
punches.
and he does that too, but he also does the especially in the first minute and 20, 30 seconds, whatever it is that's like a guaranteed knockdown. That's when you really have to pay the most attention. If you can make it through the first minute and a half, this
Mhm.
game gets beatable pretty easily.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have to try to practice more and more. I beat it on the 3DS, but that was with Mr. Dream, so it's not like a
Yeah.
real completion, but definitely worth playing and fun to go back because you could put it in, play 15, 20 minutes and then put it down and then come back to it next week and still have a good time.
Yep. Great pick up and play for sure. All right, Russ, my next one. All right. I just wrote these in whatever order I thought of. So I'm going to preface this as you can play this game in multiple ways.
Okay.
Okay. You don't have to have it, but I think everybody should play Little Samson at least once.
Sounds good. It's a good pick on
Chris
there.
is like, "What else you gotta say, Jay?" Sounds good. Uh, so I have this game on a modded Wii and also on a modded NES Classic, and it's like so highly touted for a reason, because it was later in the NES when they really knew how to get the most out of it, but it's just such a unique, interesting game. I mean, you got 4 players. One of the things that I think's weird about it is with each player has a different song, so you're hearing different music based
Yes.
on who you
Every
have.
time you switch, yeah, it does a different
They all
song
kind
to it.
of have different little powers, so you kinda it's kind of like Bucky O'Hare in the
Mhm.
fact that you need to figure out who you need to use to get through what section or make the
Right.
section a bit easier. But it's definitely an interesting game. I know it's as expensive as all get out, but just download the ROM, throw it on a modded Wii, or if you have an NES Classic that's modded, play it that way. You don't have to own it, or buy a repro cart.
Right,
But
right.
just try it out or play it. Maybe it's on the Switch Online. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it is, but certainly ways you can track it down and be able to play it. Yeah, I was streaming this one last week on Twitch for a little bit going through. And even
Yeah,
it has difficulty settings in it, so you can play on an easy mode, so you get a little bit more health. And yeah, some of the sections, again, you have to figure out like, oh, what character should I be using? And certain
right.
ones start off with like very, very low health. Like you have the mouse, he's very powerful, but has like 3 bars of health. But while you're playing the game, you can get these special objects to increase the health. So you want to do that to the mouse so he has more health. But the rock guy already has like a full bar of health, but he's slow but powerful. So certainly could
And I
do a
think
couple
he can take
playthroughs of
lots
it.
of damage, right?
Right, he's
The
very
rock guy,
like strong.
resistant to damage.
Yeah. So certainly fun. Expensive game, but definitely a must play for the NES, I will say. Agree with that. All right, we got a few more on the list. After Mike Tyson's Punch Out, I did go back to a classic, but kind of switched it up a little bit because most people probably would say the first one, and I went with Ninja Gaiden 2, The Dark Sword of Chaos.
Great
With
game.
Ninja Gaiden 2, they added so much more stuff. When you jump on edges, you can now press up and you'll climb up those edges, where in the first game, you could not. You're just stuck to the wall. So I thought that was awesome. They added, obviously, new power-ups, so I thought this clone, ninja thing was a cool concept. They also added environmental stages with, like, wind that pushes you back, which I thought was cool. There's a stage where, like, there's lightning, so, like, you have to jump at certain times or you can't see anything. So they added a lot of cool stuff, definitely amped up the, play value on the second one here.
Yeah. The environmental stuff can be a little bit annoying, but it just varies it up, you know?
Yeah, it's not in every it's just in, I think, that one stage,
Like,
I wanna say.
yeah,
They don't overuse it, which is great.
right.
But a lot of people say that this one's the easiest out of the trilogy.
I think it's definitely the easiest out of the 3.
You still get unlimited continues, and I think feel like with the added stuff that they did, it just makes it a little bit easier. And I've streamed this one in the past and beat it with save states, but
Right.
it's certainly was a fun one.
We're adults, we don't have that much time.
That's it. Yeah, good soundtrack, fun gameplay. Ninja Gaiden 2, if you guys haven't played it, definitely check one that out. And I don't think it's as expensive as it's gotta be what, I don't know, 30, 40 bucks maybe.
Yeah, I would say like 25, 30 the max.
Yeah. So check that one out.
There you go. Alright, you ready for a weird adventure, Russ?
Oh boy, what do we got?
Alright, you're a small bird and you're from New Zealand.
What?
Y You're a
Am I
kiwi, and
a
the game
kiwi?
is Kiwi Craze.
I don't think I even heard of this one. Let me see. Kiwi craze?
Yeah, so you're like this little chick-looking bird, and you're flying around trying to escape from, like shoot, I can't remember, I feel like it's police officers and weird stuff. It's definitely a strange game, but Taito makes it, so you know it's good.
Okay.
Um, it's kinda cutesy. There you are, your little bird with your you got your chucks on and you're fighting. There's the police officer,
You
and,
do have Converse chucks on.
yeah, and so it's kind of a cute little game. It's definitely interesting. It's a unique experience on the NES, kinda fun. You get to fly around and escape mice people and bats, apparently.
Yeah, I don't think I
Um
ever seen this one before.
Yeah, very interesting game. Like I said, Taito made it, so I think that see that there you are in New Zealand. You're just north of Australia. So just kind of a neat little game, unique experience on the NES that I don't think many people get to see or play because it's like even Russ had never heard of it.
Yeah, wow.
It takes a real addict to know about this game.
I'd have to maybe put this on a future stream before. Kiwi craze.
Yeah, it's cool, neat little experience.
Yeah, if it seems like if you like Kirby's Adventure or even maybe a little bit of Little Nemo in there, I'd say definitely check this one out. Yeah, this one's sweet. Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
give it a whirl.
I'm not breaking any grounds with my next one.
Hey, that's okay.
It's not as fun, but I figured again with the sequel rather than the first one, figure a must play would be Super C on the NES here instead of Contra. They added a
See,
lot
Russ, this is
more
why
features and
we're a good team. You're taking more
good
like a
team.
traditional route. I'm taking more
You're taking
untraditional,
the
and you're
opposite.
getting a good list.
You got your classic run and gun here. You can use the Konami code in this one, but you do get less lives. But with practice at this one, you'll find, it's just as easy as the first one. I think everyone goes towards the first one because we played that one so much, so you're good at it. You know the levels more. Where not a lot of people has played Super C, so then they're like, "Oh, it's not as good." But look at this, they have cool top-down levels that they include it. That kind of reminds me of, the Super Nintendo did that as well. Well, Super C did it first on the NES, all right?
That's it. Unless you're
Very
Aaron,
cool.
you don't want to play this game around me, because I will tell you the wrong way to go, and you will die. Maybe
But
that's what I meant with keep or kill. I'd kill Aaron on Contra, but I wouldn't do it to Ricky.
fair enough. Check out Super C. It's a fun one. If you played the first one, you'll like the sequel.
Amen. All right, my next one. This is an inexpensive title, but once again, just emulate it if you have to. Unique experience on the NES, Jackie Chan's Kung Fu Adventure.
Oh,
You're
okay.
kind of like a larger sprite, and you kind of go through kicking and punching your way through. Uh,
Yeah, I played this one before.
uh, you punch frogs in the face and steal their health. I don't know, but it's kind of a neat game. I just think it's a unique experience of the NES, which is like kind of my whole shtick here today. And
Yeah,
it's cute. It's not terribly hard, but it's also challenging. So
right.
it's like that just right challenge.
It's got great
Um,
graphics, and again, the sprite's pretty big, which I think it helps with the platforming because then the platforms are also a little bit larger for you to land on.
it almost looks like a Turbo Graphics game
Right. I feel like he's
for
the same
some
size as,
reason.
like, Keith Courage or something.
Yeah, yeah, and it just seems kinda silly too, so,
And,
um,
like, it's so
if
weird,
you
like, Jackie Chan okay, he got his own game, why didn't, Jean-Claude Van
why didn't
Damme
Chuck
get it?
Norris?
Chuck
Yeah,
Norris or, like, any of those, like, why do they just go to Jackie Chan? They're like, "Hey, we're gonna make this video game about you." Like, "Oh,
and
okay."
if you really wanna see a good review on this game, Game Dave, did a really nice review on this game.
Does it I think he has a giant cardboard cutout of Jackie Chan too that he brings to
That's
cons
hilarious.
sometimes.
Oh,
Game
that's
Dave, check it
amazing.
out.
Yeah. Shout out to Game Dave, I love Game Dave.
Sweet. All right, we got a few more and then we'll get to your picks. We got a voicemail to get to as well. Let's see. So I have 2 left.
Alright, and I have
It
3 left.
Let's see, where are we at here? We're here. Okay. So this one I picked, it's kind of I feel like a lot of these are similar to where people haven't played these. So I had to kind of choose one of them because I feel like there's 3 of them where they're kinda similar aspect, but I went with, Shatterhand on the NES.
Great
It's
game.
it's another one, kinda expensive. It plays similar to, like, a Ninja Gaiden, essentially, but you're instead of a sword, you're punching stuff. Just got a
Yeah, it's
cool
like Vice Project Doom or Ninja Gaiden.
right. The other one would have been, what is the trifecta? Power Blade.
Power Blade? Yeah, Power Blade's very
Right.
similar.
So, like, if you haven't played any of those was all make the list, but I chose Shattered Hand. I thought it's pretty cool, fun concept, plays great, good soundtrack. I love me a good platformer and, cool bosses. Yeah, this one's very neat. Not
Looks
much
cool.
more to say. I don't know, check out Power Blade. It's got a cool cover.
It's true.
I dig it.
Alright, sweet. My next game is Sunsoft.
Mm. Blaster Master?
I froze up again, did I?
No,
Gonna
well, you
wait and
said
see if I
sun
come
off
back or
and then it stopped.
okay, Sunsoft's Gremlins 2. Sorry, I know my
Oh, okay.
computer I think my computer's giving us trouble tonight, and I'm sorry for those watching. Gremlins 2, you get to play as Gizmo. You get a kind of a top-down view. You're traversing through, um, the I guess the hotel or the building or whatever it is
Right,
from
yeah,
Gremlins
the,
2.
studio or whatever it was they ran.
Thing. Hopefully you guys are hearing me. And you get little projectiles. I found this game really challenging. I'm not good at it, but it is a unique experience.
Yeah, I played this one a lot back in the day and have never beaten it. It's definitely a challenge for sure. I do like you get the shops and stuff, so you can get some upgrades in there, and the bosses are really cool and unique. They're all gremlins from the, movie itself, if you
Yep.
watch Gremlins 2 there, and so they could be challenging. I think there's, like, an electric one, there's a big spider looking one. What other ones are there? But yeah, I never got to the end. The playthrough here is only
Yeah.
22 minutes if you know what you're doing, but
Wow. You can be pretty quick if you know what you're doing. So apparently I'm terrible at this game. Some of the platforming can be a little tricky and a little annoying because you're there's the electric guy. He looks cool because you're kind of going through like over these little holes that you can fall into. So it's real helpful to have like a balloon and but
right, you can buy balloons, so if you fall, essentially it gives you another shot, pulls you out of the hole. But definitely tricky platforming for sure. It shows your shadow, so it helps a little bit, but just
right.
more practice. Like I said, if this was a rental for the weekend, you got 3 days with it. Maybe by Sunday you'll be able to get a little bit further in the end.
Yeah. Cool game though. Neat experience.
I dig it. Gremlins 2,
The new batch.
the new batch. And then I guess I'll let everyone down with with the most generic answer of
Mario 3.
what you should be playing on the NES, and that is Super Mario Brothers 3. I mean, I guess you could go 1 or 2. 2's unique in itself, but I feel like so many people go to 3. I think because of more of the popularity, it was in the movie The Wizard, which made it probably sell more to kids because it was in a movie, and you get to have all these cool new power-ups that you didn't have before with the raccoon tail, the frog suit, a Hammer Brothers suit, the Tanuki suit. There's 8 worlds to dive through, and even certain levels you don't even have to play on the map unless you want 100% it.
Yeah, I mean, you could whistle right through the game, which is what I typically do because I don't have the patience to play through 8 worlds.
Yeah, I believe I did some streams where went and did not warp whistle, and I was like, "Oh, yeah, I totally forgot about this world." Like, I forgot where everything is large. Like, that's a
Oh,
cool
yeah.
world to go to.
I I love that world.
But for the most part, yeah, I'll just grab the 2 whistles, go to world 8, and just try to beat it. Although you don't have as many power-ups as I like to have when I get to world 8, because a lot of
I
the levels.
usually I usually get to, like, level 3, and then I'll to give me a couple levels to power up, and then I'll, use the whistles.
Right. I mean, growing up, I subscribed to Nintendo Power, and I got the, full issue with the red borders. You got Mario right on the cover in his raccoon suit, and it was a full guide on Mario 3, and I went through that whole thing and was like, "Alright, this is how I'm beating this game," figuring all the specials and everything, getting all the goodies. When you get
Yeah.
like, flipping the card game, I'm like, "Oh, which one is it?" And you look, "Okay, this is it. Now I know all the matches. I'm gonna get the good
Oh,
stuff."
so the thing shows you all the matches? I think I have that book. I should sit down and use that one day. That'd
There's,
be
like
fun.
yeah, like 3 variations, so you have to, like, line, "Okay, the flower's in the upper right." Like, "Okay, let me look at my book. Oh, it's this one." So, yeah, very
Nice.
cool. Super Mario Brothers 3 must play on anyone's list, I imagine so.
I feel like this game has such a cool ending too. I love the music. I love that this whole game is like a play.
Mhm.
I love the final battle with Bowser. I think it's so rewarding. Um,
And he
I
looks
love
really good too. I feel like that was
he looks
towards,
so
like,
cool.
where they defined what he looks like. In the first game, he's like, like, alright, and he wasn't in the first game. Hashtag bring back Wart. Why haven't we heard from Wart? But
That I want to know the same question. Why can't Wart come back? He should definitely come back for a reprised role, if nothing else, in Smash Bros.
right.
Okay, Russ, I have two left. Is that your last one?
Yeah, because we matched on Star Tropics was my last one.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay. This game is a puzzle game,
Okay.
like a maybe it's like a puzzle I don't know how you describe it. It's called Kickle Cubicle.
Oh, yeah.
You're this little dude. I'm assuming your name's Kickle because you kick things. You kick cubes, so it's a really original name, and, you're trying to save these vegetable people, which is weird. Um, but it's fun, it's puzzly, it's kinda got that Solomon's Key feel that I mentioned earlier. It's cute, the level kinda ramps the difficulty ramps up as you go, which is like most games, I guess. Um, but it's just kinda fun, and, if you have 30 minutes to sit around and play a quick pick up game, this is a good one. It's kinda fun to figure out, what to do.
Yeah, I probably played this a little bit. I do like the cute aspect of it there. Very cutesy.
Yeah, look at his little eyes.
Looks like a full playthrough. This guy went through an hour, 44 minutes. I feel like, wow, that's pretty
That's
long
a
for this
long
type of
time to be kicking some cubes, yeah.
I
I
wonder
mean,
if
you can
there's
beat
any passwords or anything or not.
yeah, I don't know.
If
That
you
that
if
does
you gotta
seem
continue. But hey, good on them to make that many mazes and
there's
not
hopefully
have
I'm
them
not
be
frozen
repetitive.
again. Yeah. Kickle
Kickle
Cubicle
Cubicle.
and,
And there's boss fights too, look at that.
sweet looking. I never got that far. I'll say my
Sweet.
last one is Crystallis.
Oh, no kidding. Someone was talking about that in my live stream today, said they were playing that.
Yeah, so Crystallis is like an RPG, I guess, kinda like Zelda-esque. Um, I've never really gotten very far in it. I think the battery on mine doesn't work. I've gotten, like, all the way to the windmill?
Okay.
But you're this little purple dude, you wake up from, like, a cryogenic chamber, and you go to the town and find out stuff's going awry, maybe is the better way to say that, and you go start fighting enemies and leveling up, and, um, like I said, I haven't made it too far because I think that that, um, uh,
Right, I mean, it has different
and I'm not
aspects.
usually
I'd say, like, you get that visiting the town aspect where you're talking to people and stuff, and you can equip certain weapons. So it's a
Yep.
little different from Zelda, but not so much Final Fantasy. It's good of both worlds.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like, for a beginner RPG, this might be right up someone's alley. So, like I said, I need to get further through the game, but it's great what I've played of it so far.
Crystallis on NES. Nice.
And that's
Um,
it. That's
let's
my list.
let's dive in to see what you guys said. See if we have any matches. I was I don't know if you guys like if we do the half, when we're doing top tens, if we should do five and then see what everyone says and then finish up our list, or if you like when we finish the list and then go see you guys. Who knows? What's the better
Who
order?
knows? We just kinda bounce back and forth.
Yeah. All right. So we'll
Whatever Russ is feeling.
see what you guys say.
What did you say? What did you say?
Springfield, let's hear from you.
All right. We posted this on our social medias. So over on Instagram on the weekly Warp Pipe, Ty says, outside of popular titles like Mario and Castlevania, I would say Jackal is a fantastic game with a lot of charm. Even Guerrilla War was a fun solo or co-op game. Me and Jay love some Jackal, so definitely agree with that. I don't know if I played
That's
Guerrilla
right.
much.
Yeah, I don't think I played it very much.
Cup of Retro, Eric says Star Tropics, and he says River City Ransom.
I agree.
Samuel Miras, the Castlevania series, Super Mario Bros. Series, Zelda series, Little Nemo Dream Master,
Almost made
Batman.
my list.
Batman made my list. Oh, Kabuki Quantum Fighter. That's another one I think a lot of people don't talk about, again, with like Vice Project Doom and all those.
Yep, yep.
Wampum, which I haven't played.
Wampum. Love Wampum.
He also mentions River City Ransom, Battle of Olympus, and Gremlins 2.
We have a match.
Scruffy GIF. Well, besides the obvious ones like Mario 1, 2, and 3, I'm going to say Monster in My Pocket or Blaster Master. Can't say enough good things about these two games. Yeah, Monster in My Pocket, definitely a fun one for sure. Blaster Master, I have fun with it, but I feel like I'm never going to beat that game.
Blaster Master is gonna be on a list of games that me and Russ do one day when it's games that I want to complete but just can't get into for some reason.
Ah, yes.
Every time I try to play it, I just get overwhelmed.
Right, there's a lot to take in for sure.
Yep,
Alright, we got on
like
our
Chester's
community
Quest.
page right. Oh, yeah, very similar too with, like, the boss battles. On our community page over on YouTube, we got Jay Rip, says Batman. I know you both talked about this quite a bit on recent episodes, but it's so good. The music, as we all know, is equally as good as the gameplay, for sure. I chose
100%.
Batman on my list, so maybe give yourself a go at Joker's Return or Joker's Return? Yeah,
They're
Revenge,
Yeah, that's right. They're or maybe
one
The
of the
Return of Joker,
Return
something like
of
that.
Joker. Waves and Games, Castlevania, and Tetris are the first 2 that come to mind. Yeah, I feel like Tetris, though, I played first on Game Boy
Me too.
because it was a pack-in, right? Purge and Splurge Thrifting, says Dr. Mario. I picked this awesome puzzle game up every couple months, and it's awesome way for me to relax after a long day. It's a great puzzle game for someone who likes them, and it's fairly easy to play. Good repetitive music, not the kind that makes you want to smash the TV out for being annoying. I
True.
will admit playing it on medium or had the highest level, like 20, is never a dull moment and incredibly hard. Even easy levels, 15 through 20, can be quite challenging. I would say if you played Tetris and looking for a change up, try Dr. Mario. I honestly prefer it to Tetris.
There you go.
Nice. We got Mike says Bionic Commando,
100%.
Mega Man 1, 2, and 3, Double Dragon 3, Pro Wrestling, TMNT 2. I always forget how to say this one.
Xerxes, I think.
Xerxes, Life Force, all
Love them.
great, some underrated.
I
Good
agree.
choices for sure. Um, how was he say? We always say Steve versus Man Cave Arcade. How he was saying it should be
Steve
Steve
V's Man Cave.
Stevie's Man Arcade Man Cave. I'm killing the name here.
We love you, Stevie.
All right, he says I'll go with the obvious. Super Mario Bros. 3. Those 2 games brought so much joy to my childhood and bring hours of fun. If I had to pick another 2, it would be Dr. Mario and TMNT 2, the arcade game. 2
Cool.
classics that are a must for the system. See, a lot of people agreeing, so everyone's kind of on the same page here.
That's it.
Retro Car Collector. If I'm going with one people need to play that maybe haven't, Vice Project Doom and Destiny of an Emperor. Such a good RPG. If I'm going classics, Mega Man 2, my personal favorite, and Blaster Master.
I do love Vice Project Doom. I've never played Destiny of an Emperor.
Yeah, again with the RPGs, I didn't get into a whole bunch on the NES there, so I don't know if I can go visit it now and still enjoy. Although I guess you could just use a walkthrough on there and it'd be a little bit easier.
I'd like to beat Final Fantasy at least once just to say I did it.
Yeah, the first one.
Yeah.
All right, we got one more comments here on our Facebook page. If you want to follow us on Facebook, the Weekly Warpipe. We got
Matthew
Matthew
Durkin.
Durkin. At the risk of sounding as basic as vanilla ice cream, I'd have to say Super Mario Bros. 3 and DuckTales. We all have sunk countless hours into them, but they are still top notch must plays.
Absolutely.
Austin Mills, what's up? Super Mario Bros. Has always been a favorite of mine. All 3 of the Super Mario Bros. Games, both Legend of Zeldas for anyone that's a fan of the modern day games. Tetris. I grew up playing so many different versions of this game growing up. It's still one of my favorite games to play when I'm stressed. Yeah, I actually
It's
broke out
interesting
my
to me how many people say Tetris.
right. Or like Doctor or like in those like puzzle type games and they play
Yeah.
them to relieve
Yep.
stress. Pretty great. Michael Chapman says Maniac Mansion. That's a first on there.
That almost made my list.
Certainly
Almost.
fun and an interesting one. Super Mario Bros. 3, Metroid, that's a first, and Marble Madness.
I totally agree with Metroid. I think
And-
Metroid's a game that needs to be beat at least once too.
Right, for sure. And Legend of Zelda 1 and 2, he says. I don't know what Steve didn't list any games. Steve says all 3 of them.
I'm hoping he meant
Probably
Mario 1, 2,
Mario
and 3.
Brothers, because that's or Ninja Gaidens. There's 3 of those.
Or
Could be either. We appreciate the comment.
is there another thing with 3 games?
Oh,
Dragon Warrior.
Dragon Warrior, Final Fantasy.
Oh, there you
What else we got here? We do have a comment shout out I'd like to do.
go. Comment shout out. Sorry.
Comment shout out.
What did they say?
They say
What
We-
they say?
Kid on a Friday said, "Awesome episode, guys. You guys should do more of these ranking episodes for different companies like Capcom, Tecmo, etc."
What a
Yeah.
great YouTube name, Kid on a Friday. I mean, like, what's better than that?
I think that's the first time I've seen him comment, so that stood out to me. So I appreciate you listening
And
to
he's
the
got
podcast.
a blooper.
As this little icon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think me and Jay discussed we'll probably do another ranking one. It takes a little bit to do those ones because one, there's like a ton of games, right? And then I like to get the box art. So then I got to get box art for like 20, 30 games, put it into that program so then we can visually make it look a little bit better, like dragging and all that. It's definitely helpful doing the podcast here on StreamYard because then I can look up the gameplay footage and pull that in quickly so you can see that. But yeah, other than having to do the research and all the fun stuff like that, we'll definitely try to bank maybe one a month might be a good
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
because then we won't blow through all the developers. So we appreciate your comment. If you're watching on YouTube and you want to leave a comment, then maybe you'll make next week's episode.
What'd they say?
What they say. We do have a voicemail as well, too.
Heck yeah.
Let's get it.
I keep dreaming about my dream phone. It's for you.
Hey, just listen to Warp Pipe Wednesday. Jay, he's asking us all these questions. Keep it, kill it, but he didn't answer any of them. But
That's true.
I would want to hear his answers. But Russ, you answered wrong. You answered completely wrong. It
Oh,
was
no.
McDonald's or Burger King, and you said McDonald's. McDonald's is disgusting.
Ah,
And plus, in my city, everybody always laughs. They go, "Oh, what's your favorite restaurant?" So it's not. If somebody asked me that, I would say Burger King. Like the burger, not all Burger Kings are equal, but the one by me,
mhm.
like the guy that owns it is like the nicest guy ever. It's clean, but like whenever you go in there, the owner's always like nice guy talking to you. They got the Coke Freestyle machines.
Oh, yeah.
All the McDonald's by me, you can't even fill your own drink anymore. But
Oh, you
Oh,
can't
wow.
over
believe.
here at Burger King, you got the Coke Freestyle machine. You could get the strawberry Fanta, vanilla Coke, cherry vanilla, whatever you want.
I have a
Mix
problem
it
with
up.
that
It's
machine.
like so many options. And then they got this like big play place that's like clean. My son
Oh, wow.
always
Play
loves
place still.
playing in there, but I mean it's clean and it's like it's a nice play place. And they always, they got this big TV with kids shows playing, and nobody's ever there. But anyways,
What kind of shows?
enough about that. The food is way better. They got chicken fries. Their French fries are way better. Whenever I go to
Chicken
McDonald's, they're soggy or they're too
Their fries are
crispy,
not
they're,
way
like,
better.
too,
I am not going to agree with that.
you get that one fry that's like too thin, too crispy, or they're soggy. Burger King, their
McDonald's
fries are always
fries
better.
are.
And
No.
McDonald's has the better toys though. So
That's
is
right.
true.
sometimes we do
See?
have to go there. My son wants the toy. So I'm like, can I just buy you the toy? I don't want to eat McDonald's, but we always end up eating it. But anyways, and then Russ. I didn't see the stickers for the controllers on the weeklywarpipe.com, but
Oh,
it's
right.
just an idea. I love Super Nintendo way more than I love NES. I'd like to have a
Mhm.
Super Nintendo. Like that, I feel like a lot of people like the Super Nintendo controller stickers. I I should have thought of some ideas before I called, some Super Nintendo games. But
Hey, that's okay.
um, I would buy one of those for the Super Nintendo controller 'cause I
There
love
you
Super
go.
Nintendo. But
Super
all right, guys,
Nintendo's
that's
great.
all. Jay, make YouTube great again. Bye.
I'm gonna try.
That was a great voicemail. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you so
I
much
want
for
to say a
calling in.
couple things.
Okay.
I love the voicemail, first off. Number one, I understand why you think Burger King is better. I mean, their sandwiches do look a bit wholer. They actually have healthy looking lettuce on them, and they're a bit bigger. But man, those flat, squished down little cheeseburgers from McDonald's, even though they look like something that you would find on like the side of the road, they're still incredible. And I don't care if they're not good for you or not. I think they're delicious. And so I do see Burger King fries are pretty good. I mean, I get them sometimes with my mom. But something about those greasy little golden fries from McDonald's, I don't care. I know they're probably disgusting, and you have to get them fresh with some salt and some Heinz ketchup, but they are so good. I can see why you think Burger King, but I have to decline and say, or what's the word? Agree to disagree and pick McDonald's. So that's the one thing I want to say.
Yeah.
I got a kick when he said chicken fries. I was like, that's so funny. Oh, what was the other thing I was going to comment? Oh, so one thing he said he would like to know my answers, and
Right.
so this is the Saturday episode that we're doing here, but the previous Wednesday, if you haven't heard it yet, the Warp Pipe Wednesday, I think that I commented on what I would have chosen
Well, so
when I was the episode we just recorded that will be out this Wednesday.
right.
I
So
did
this coming
answer.
Wednesday, Jay does answer. So that was the first time us pitching the segments and stuff. So we're, I guess, getting the kinks
Yeah,
out. And
that's
then
it.
I want to try to do like I'll write down some. So I ask Jay first, and he answers, and then I'll have my answers. But it's I guess it's more fun to catch the other person off guard.
Right, and every one I did, with the most part, I tried to like make Russ do some like impossible choice. So sorry, Russ, but it's hypothetical, so it doesn't really matter. We're not gonna have to kill anything. We get to keep it all, so that's great. Um, but I'm glad you enjoyed the segment, and
Jay froze again. Darn your computer. But hey, if you want to call in and leave a voicemail, our phone number is 949-682-9277. It's in the description of all our videos. To comment on the NES overlays he's talking about, these guys here. I have custom overlays with different NES games that you could put on your controller and make it new. I have done Super Nintendo ones in the past. I did Chrono Trigger, I did some Zelda
ooh,
ones. So I need to find my Photoshop files so then I can design, print them, and then cut them out on my silhouette. And yeah, I'll be able to put those on there. I haven't added anything to the weeklywarpipe.com site or my because that just kind of links to my Etsy page. I haven't added them on there. I've just been doing strictly message me through Instagram, um, TikTok, or email, russlyman81 at gmail. So however you
gotcha.
can get it. Get it.
Russ, send
What'd
me
you
some
say?
stuff.
Send me some stuff.
I said I just text you, Russ, send me some stuff.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I sent Jay a package. But yeah, good suggestion for sure. I'd like to get those out, and I'm gonna be doing some conventions this year, so I'm gonna be trying to sell them at the convention if I have a table or if I'm a guest. So
Yeah,
we'll see. We'll see how that goes going forward. But again, appreciate you calling in. Um, we'll wrap this up and give a quick shout out to our Patreons. Dan and Nicole's Treasures Untold, Joe Sheevy, Trace Livinggood, Samantha Chang, Rodney Torres, Retroholic16, and Austin Mills for supporting the show. If you want to support the show, head over to patreon.com/Russ Lyman. And yeah, you could help us there. This has certainly been a fun topic. And again, we'll probably come back to this and make it even harder and do one game per system, and we'll go through the generations. I might have to reach out for some help because I haven't played every system. I'm not sure how, maybe we'll just do Atari. We don't have to do Atari 2600, 7800, 5200.
Yeah, I say like
kind
the
of the
staple
generic.
systems.
Right. But I myself haven't played any Sega Saturn stuff. So I don't know about that system there. I haven't played a lot of Master Systems, so I may need some help, with the game on there. But we'll reach out to the community. You guys can give us your suggestions and we'll curate some list of that. So that episode will be coming probably in the coming weeks. And again, we'll do maybe once a month of the ranking the games from each publisher. It was pretty cool. And
Yeah,
again,
that's fun
we
time.
can do, obviously we did Nintendo, Konami. You could always do Konami on Super Nintendo.
That's right.
Gonna have to stick with Nintendo, or do whatever Sega Genesis? We'll see. You let us know. We'll cover it. That wraps it up. Sweet guys, thanks so much for listening, tuning in, and as always, I'm Russ Lyman. Keep your world fun bit by bit.